Chapter 2 Initiation Day.
Exploration agents were always easy to distinguish from the rest of the organization. They always had some form of mutation or affliction, a side effect of working within the realms. Some agents had antlers or horns, others colourful rashes which spread across their bodies. One person even had the bottom half of a kangaroo. They bounced around confidently, reassuring their applicant, who looked as though they were about to vomit. There was a nervous line of people on either side of the corridor when Alex and Stephan arrived on the third floor. Alex tried not to stare, but his eyes stayed longer than he would have liked them to. "Are you okay? You're staring." Stephan patted him on the back, taking him out of his trance. Yeah, he stuttered and shook slightly due to nerves. "You'll be fine. I won't worry too much about it. It'll be over before you know it." Alex smiled. He was glad that at least he knew his mentor. He couldn't imagine starting a new job with someone he didn't know. In what seemed like no time at all, someone called, "Applicants for the Exploration Division, this way, please." "Ready?" Stephan whispered. "Ready." They followed the crowd into a dimly lit room, oddly similar to that of a classroom. Diagrams of spells and safety instructions were littered across the walls. The applicants were instructed to sit at the desks, while the mentor stood along the perimeter of the room. "Morning, agents!" A muscular, stiff-looking man with white hair and a bushy moustache stood at the head of the classroom. He spoke in a bear-like growl which matched the fur creeping up through his neatly ironed uniform. "It's nice to see so many new faces joining the Exploration Division." He paused, clapped his hands, and glanced at everybody in the room, examining each new face. "My name is Commander Wilson, head of the Exploration Division. As you all know, the Exploration Division gathers information on each of the demon realms. So far, we have gathered information on 5 out of the 8 realms, and while we're working on gathering information on the other 3, they are considered highly dangerous. Currently, there is a mission to capture the Demon Lord of the 3rd realm, so that we may explore it." He paused as a short, rat-faced man raised his hand. "Sir, how exactly do they plan to capture a Demon Lord? And whether it's captured or not, how does that affect our ability to explore the realm?" "What is your name, Agent?" "Jack Smith, sir." "Right, Agent Smith. The answer to your first question is classified information. The Research Division have been working on this project for a number of years. And to answer your second question, the 3rd Demon Lord is known as the Blood Demon, and as her name suggests, Commander Wilson stared directly into Agent Smith's eyes. "If she finds you in her realm, she will torture you in the slowest, bloodiest, most painful way possible." A deafening silence hung in the air before the commander continued. "Therefore, if she is not in her realm, there will be no one there to harm you, and this should give you plenty of time to explore and document the realm. Does that answer your question?" "Yes, sir," the agent said, their voice firm, but their face was pale and sick-looking. "Right, let's continue, shall we? In order for you to travel into the realms, a deal must be made with one of the demon lords. In that case, we make a deal with the Lord of the 2nd realm, Mycelius, a hallucination demon." There was a small intake of breath from several of the new agents. It was common knowledge, however, in order to gain access to the demon realms, you had to have a connection with them. Mycelius is generally considered a neutral demon. Do not ask for anything too extreme when making a deal. As you can see from a number of agents around today, he motioned toward the mentors who lined the room. And no doubt the rumours associated with this division, there are a number of side effects that can happen after this deal. Anything is possible when dealing with this demon. A grim expression took over his face. "I won't lie to you, we've had many deaths and missing person incidents due to this process alone. Anyone not ready to take that risk should leave now." A few people stood up at this, including Agent Smith, and they were led from the room. Stephan gave Alex a small smile of reassurance as they watched the agents leave. Commander Wilson clapped his hands together and continued as though nothing had happened. Let's get started. Each one of you has been paired with a mentor, and one by one, you and your mentor will be called through to the ritual room, where you will make a deal with Mycelius. After this ritual, you and your mentor will be taken through to our medical bay for examination. Commander Wilson picked up a clipboard from the table. Right, first up is Miss Stephanie Adams and partner Miss Andrea Dawson. A young woman stood up bravely beside her mentor, whose skin was covered in a poisonous purple rash, and they followed the commander through to the ritual room. The agents began to mingle as they waited to be called through. Stephan immediately walked over to Alex, a cautious grin on his face as he pulled up a chair and sat beside him. Have you calmed down any yet? Yeah, a little, Alex replied, noticing the bandages around Stephan's hand. Though he didn't say anything, it was clear he'd noticed Alex's gaze. You'll be fine. Most of the time it's something you can live with. I mean, look at that guy. Stephan pointed over to a blonde agent talking to a small group of people. The agent had a large dog tail sticking out of his trousers and 2 golden retriever dog ears poking through his hair. His tongue dangled out of his mouth whenever he'd finished talking. Watch this. A malicious grin spread across Stephan's face. Wookies! The agent's tail began to wag. Stephan whistled and whispered again, Wookies! The agent's ears perked up and his tail began to wag more enthusiastically. Stephan let out another high-pitched whistle and the agent began to bark excitedly. Stephan and Alex burst out laughing as the blonde agent came bounding over, tail still wagging uncontrollably. What's so funny? The agent growled, a pink flush to his face as he slammed a furry hand onto the desk. Nothing, it's nothing, Dorian. Stephan laughed even harder. Just saying, oof, some of these side effects can be rough. Alex sniggered. He couldn't help himself. Stephan just had a way of making him laugh. Dorian sniffed the air angrily. Can you smell that, Sparky? Dorian said, savouring the last word. Something dark passed over Stephan's face, and he clenched his bandaged hand into a fist. Excuse me? Stephan rose to his feet. Dorian sniffed the air exaggeratedly and smirked. Sorry, I thought I could smell something burning. Dorian's smirk grew wider as his tail wagged more wildly. Wow, I've never heard that one before, Stephan muttered sarcastically, rolling his eyes as he fished around for something in his pocket. I'll take you on any time, any place, Dorian growled. Really? Dorian nodded, teeth bared like an angry dog. Fine. Fetch! Stephan shouted as he threw the ball. Several people laughed as they watched Dorian chase after the ball. Won't he just come back? Alex asked, slightly concerned. Dorian was a lot bigger than Stephan, and though he could hold his own in a fight, those teeth of Dorian's looked dangerous. Nah, it's part of his curse. He'll forget once something distracts him. He's basically a big golden retriever, all bark and no bite. He's fun to mess around with, though. He'll always throw a burn-related insult my way, so we're kind of even. You have to make your own entertainment sometimes. He leant back in his chair and stared over at Dorian, who happily chewed on the ball. Plus, it doesn't hurt to take him down a peg or two. His family are big investors in the corporation, and he has a big head about the whole situation. I see, Alex said, watching Dorian and wonder if he would get a similar mutation. Will he always be like that? Sort of. Stephan pulled a pained expression and fiddled with the bandages around his wrist. He'll turn into a dog eventually. Well, it's better than some things, I suppose. Are you okay? Yeah, why wouldn't I be? At the end of the day, he just likes to play. No, I mean, Alex glanced awkwardly at Stephan's wrist. Your hand. This? Don't worry about it. Nothing like this is going to happen to you, Stephan reassured as he adjusted his bandages. Everyone gets a unique mutation. Besides, your mum would kill me if anything bad happened to you. Just follow your gut when you're in there, and you'll be fine. Alex contemplated this as he stared at the many faces of the exploration agents, wondering what his own deal would entail. A short time later, Commander Wilson called out, Alexander Whitemore and Stephan Wolf? The pair rose to their feet. Alex felt his skin crawl and his heart was beating so loud that he was worried the others might hear it. Stephan, sensing Alex's nervousness, gripped his shoulder reassuringly. Okay. Stephan led him toward the ritual room, whispering in his ear as he did so. When we get into the room, follow the commander's instructions exactly and take your time when talking with Mycelius. He'll try and distract you from entering the realms. Just ignore him. I'll be here to step in if you need me to. Okay. Alex took a deep breath and stepped into the world of the demons.
Thank you for listening to Chapter 2 of the Hades Corporation, Blood, Greed and Power. Please like and subscribe if you feel compelled to do so, and I hope you have a wonderful day.